What up, everybody? Good evening. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be. Go ahead and click that subscribe button to be a part of the Whitney's gang, to join the Witness Nation. Now let's get into this, shall we? Hello, you guys, and welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be.
I'm Whitney. Keep it cute, get the boot.
All right. This platform discusses any and all information that has been made known to the public in any way. I am not a journalist. I'm a commentator. Now, the views and opinions expressed in this video and on Whitney D YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Whitney D and Whitney D's YouTube channel. Topics are for entertainment purposes solely. All right. Comedy, satire, TV rated mature. Views discretion is highly advised. Again, all commentary is alleged but very real. Now, say it with me now. Very real indeed. All right. And this is extremely real. And this is a topic that you guys know that is near to my heart. Okay. These pedos. Okay. These pedos. Okay. And like I said, the buck does not stop with the likes of R. Kelly. Okay. This industry is rampant with pedophilia and just disturbing relationships and things of that nature. So we're going to attack them one at a time, okay? And so I don't know if you guys heard about this. This came out from TMZ some months back. Let's go ahead and get into it, okay? But first, let me go ahead and say hi to everybody. Good evening, okay? Good evening, okay? Welcome. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Put your city and or state in the chat. Let me know if you're tuning in from Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, okay? IG, okay? Shouts out to you guys, all right? Please share this video, okay? Sharing is caring, okay? This is the content y'all asked for, but y'all don't support. Okay, but that's all right. That's okay. We gonna keep doing it. All right. Make sure you guys keep it cute so you won't get the boot. All right. That is our moniker over here at WhitneyDTV. Okay. Now, if you have not done so already, subscribe to the channel. Okay. If you like more content like this, you better subscribe. Okay. Like this video, and like I said earlier, share this video. Share. Okay. It ain't just Negroes that are pedos. Okay. It is no respectful person, okay? Now, if you like to join the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button that's located at the bottom of this video or that's located in the description box. Upon the end of this video, I go back and I put all that information in there, okay? But if you want to do it right now, you can do so by clicking on the join button. Ooh, okay? All right, okay? Now, if you like to support your girl, you like to tip the hostess with the most, you can do so by sending me a Cashapp, child. You know, make sure it's not too much, baby, because they're going to be saying that you're paying the girl off, okay? So make sure it's pennies, okay? Because, baby, you know, people get paid over here, okay? Anyways, all right. We do have a PO box if you would like to send me any gifts or what have you. And last but not least, fair use act information at the bottom of the screen. Okay, now if you don't have any of cash apps or anything like that, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you will see all the information that you need to know for my Zelle and all of that, child. Okay, let me go ahead and update this banner as if we ever use it. I look back and I'll be like, I never even put the banner up there. I don't know what we talking about. But anyways, child, okay. All right. And y'all know I always gotta fix my name, child. I don't know why it just be just doing what it wants to do. Okay. This is not cool. Okay. People gotta know who they tuning in to. Okay. All right. Come on now. Okay, there we go. Okay, all right. Good evening, y'all. Happy Tuesday. Okay, I pray it is wonderful. Let me go ahead and get into these comments and see who's in the building. Hey, Kiva. She said, "Witness gang gang in the building." My sissy poo, Mary Blue, is okay. What we doing? What we doing? Oh, okay. Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Good evening, y'all. We about to get into this nastiness of this nasty industry, okay? So let me go ahead and get into it, all right? Let me go ahead and share my screen with y'all. Okay, we are talking about AEROSMITH'S Steven Tyler. Now, I'm not sure if you guys heard this story. I'm gonna be quite frank and honest with you. I remember hearing this story years ago. This woman has been speaking out, Julia. Okay, Julia has been speaking out. Let me put her on the screen. I can honest to God say, Julia, since I can remember, has been talking out about this situation. Okay, this is Julia, you guys, right here on the screen. Okay, Julia, it was 16. You're gonna hear a little bit of her story, and then we're also going to hear her complaint in transcript form. Y'all know I'm about a good receipt, okay? But she was 16 years old when she was in a relationship, okay, with AEROSMITH'S Steven Tyler, okay? And she got a permission slip from her mama, all right? She got signed off, if you will, okay? No, like seriously, you're gonna hear how, and that just wheezed over that. But you're going to hear that her mom signed over parental rights to Steven. Okay, not no assistant, not no person entourage. Okay, specifically to Steven. Her parents were aware, okay, of it. Okay, and you're going to hear all of that. Okay, but again, just because you are okay with the situation, because she was in love. Okay, so she thought. Don't make it right. You were underage. It don't matter if a child like it. It don't matter if a child asked for it. It don't matter if a child got signed off. It's illegal. I don't understand why people don't get that. I don't care if a parent signed them off. It's illegal. Okay, it's illegal. Anyways, child, we're gonna hear about her complaints in her 14-page transcript. Okay, I'm gonna try to do my due diligence of reading it in its entirety. But anyways, I want to go ahead and get into the article just to give you guys some background reference, and then we're gonna get right into it. Y'all know I don't hold y'all, child. I don't want to hold you. Okay, so I'm gonna get into this article. I'm gonna let you hear what she had to say, okay, in regards to everything. Okay, so this is the article, like I said, from TMZ. Okay, AEROSMITH'S Steven Tyler sued for allegedly sexually a minor and insisting she get an abortion. Okay. And for those that don't know who Steven Tyler is, this is this old, wrinkled, dilapidated man right here, okay? From AEROSMITH, okay? This is who the allegations are about, okay? And who we're going to hear in its entirety, okay? The article goes on to say that Steven Tyler sexually a 16-year-old girl decades ago and carried on an illicit affair with her which ended with him insisting she A, B their child. Okay. This according to a new lawsuit. Okay. The legendary Aerosmith frontman is not named in the suit, but he's one of 50 defendants and identified as a Doe. Okay. So he is the John Doe. And I think they did that because of his celebrity. I don't know, child. Maybe we'll keep covering this particular case and see as to why he is being referred to the John Doe. Okay, goes on to say the plaintiff/accuser, Julia Holcomb, has previously gone on record about their relationship, and she quotes directly from the singer's 2011 memoir in the suit. So he even talks about the relationship with this 16-year-old young woman. Okay, so she's not doing nothing different from what this ninja did. He actually talks about being in a relationship with this 16-year-old girl. And like I'm going to stress, and I'm not saying this to validate anything, the times were completely different back then. Extremely different back then, to the likes of the fact to where to the likes of the fact of where that, you know, this was kind of normal, if you will, right? So the article goes on to say, Tyler's memoir made a cryptic reference to his time spent with an underage girl. Child, I know you not. Okay, before we go any further, shouts out to Hydration. I don't even know if this is the name of it, child, but shouts out to this brand. It's cold pressed watermelon blend. It tastes like you just biting into a watermelon, child. Shouts out to Suja. I am still a brand affiliate of them. This is not in their entourage of drinks, and it's delicious. I got my mama on it. I got my brother on it. It is delicious. Okay, and so that's what I'm gonna be sipping on to stay hydrated, child. Yeah, so delicious. Anyways, but he maintained they had a romantic loving relationship. And see, what gets me is how people try to tie in love with stuff as if it changes the freaking criminal value of it all. It's still against the law. You pedos. Like, I'm telling you, this is the wave. I think, sorry, y'all, it was itching. This is where it's going. It's like when if it's consensual, it negates from it being criminal. The law is the law. You know what I'm saying? Like people says, when I read about this, I was disappointed because I am a fan of the music. Wow. I'm like, dang, another artist I have removed off my playlist. Ooh, Kiva, I love you. I knew you was my sister. You hear that? Removed from her playlist. When you find out damaging information about a person, it's a wrap. That's why it gets me when people still listen to people. And don't try to be like, well, you still listen to Nicki Minaj. She didn't do nothing. Yeah, allegedly her husband, well, not even allegedly because it's been proven he's doing whatever, but child, that's neither here nor there. But if let it be her. Let me ever hear anything about a Nicki Minaj or anything like that. And to be honest with you, I don't even listen to a lot of music anyways because child, I gotta guard my psyche. But I say all that to say, when I found out about R. Kelly, there was a rap. A rap, child. And if let me find out about any actors or anything like that, child, that's a rap. I can't tell you last time, no shade, that I listened to a R. Kelly song. Like, to see when it comes on and people respond the way they do, it don't do nothing for me. Like, they just got it in. Like he said, it's too late. It's been injected in the music, which has been injected in the people. So to hear you say that that's off your playlist, that's profound, and I respect you even more for that. Okay, so the article goes on to say, according to the docs obtained by Rolling Stone, which we have obtained those documents as well, Okay, and I'm going to read them. Okay, by Rolling Stone, Holcomb first met Tyler just after her 16th birthday. At a 1973 Aerosmith concert in Portland, Oregon. Okay, Tyler, who was then around 25 years old. This ninja was 5 years away from being 30 and was talking to a 16-year-old young girl. He was 9 years her senior. Allegedly brought Holcomb back to his hotel room where they chatted about her age, so he was aware, and troubled home life. Ooh, see, that's important. Okay. And see, that's why these celebrities, these artists know who to get. And these conversations that they have is a form of vetting to try to see what manipulative tactics they can pull from the experience of the conversation. She got a troubled home. Well, let me take you from that troubled lifestyle. You get what I'm saying? Let's continue. Holcomb says Tyler then, quote, performed various acts of criminal sexual conduct upon her. So basically, on the first day of meeting this young lady, in behind the stage, like most of them, like how we heard the likes of Kelly, this man messes with her sexually. Probably gave her oral, probably, touched upon it, probably even had sexual relations with her. But she said acts, so maybe he didn't go to that extent as of yet. Goes on to say she claims he continued to have sex with her after illegally flying her as a minor across state lines. A possible federal crime under the Mann Act. To Seattle for AEROSMITH'S next show. Wait a minute. It's not just R. Kelly. Okay. So I don't want to go on and read anymore because it's going into the documents. And like I said, we're going to read the documents, okay? But you scroll down, it says Holcomb's suit accuses Tyler of sexually A-ing her, sexually beating her, and intentionally infliction of emotional distress, okay? They reached out to Stevens rep, and so far they didn't get any word back, okay? And this was back in December, I want to say. Yeah, December 30th. And you guys are going to see when the document was filed. Okay, so let me go ahead. We're going to switch things into here. Y'all know I'm not going to hold you. Okay. Go ahead and share my screen. Okay. And here are the documents. All right. Now, as you guys are going to see, okay, let me get my little highlight. I know I like to highlight. Okay. As you guys see here, okay. That article was on the 30th. 3 days before the article came out, this was filed, okay? All right. So let's get into it, okay? Superior Court of the State of California for the County of Los Angeles, okay? Now, these matters is Julia Misley, formerly known as Julia Holcomb, an individual, okay? Now, again, to put face with name for those that aren't aware of what is going on, who is what, and why is what, okay? This is Julia, okay? This is her when she was, a youth, when she was a young lady, okay? And then she carried on a love affair with AEROSMITH'S even, okay? And it was illegal, all right? And now she's suing his behind, as she should, and taking him to court, okay? So let's go ahead and get into this complaint, okay? So, and like I said, the defendant is Doe 1, an individual, and Does 2 through 50 inclusive, okay? So this is the complaint for damages for, so these are the charges in which he is claiming or, stating. One for a sexual B, okay? sexual A, and then lastly, as we heard, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Okay. And she's demanding for a jury trial. Okay, so she's not trying to settle out of court. She wants to take this all the way to court, as she should. Okay, it seems like you got to take people to court in order for the truth to come out. And even then, ninjas don't believe you all the way. But anyway, so I digress. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this doc. Okay. All right. Plaintiff Julia Holcomb, okay, brings this action against defendant Doe 1 and Does 2 through 50 inclusive, collectively defendants, okay? And based on information and belief alleges as follows. Here's the introduction, you guys. Plaintiff is a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, sexual B, A, and molestation at the hands of defendant Doe 1 when plaintiff was 16 years old. Defendant Doe 1 used his role, status, and power as a well-known musician and rock star to gain access to groom, manipulate, exploit sexually a plaintiff over the course of over 3 years. In numerous states across the country, including in the state of California, County of Los Angeles, as a result of defendant Doe 1's sexual A and sexual A. Plaintiff has suffered severe emotional, physical, and psychological injury, including humiliation, shame, and guilt, economic loss, economic capacity, earning loss, and permanent emotional distress. Okay. Jurisdiction and venue. This court has jurisdiction over the subject matter of this action pursuant to I don't know what that number is, Section 10 of the California Constitution and Section 410.10 of the California Code of Civil Procedure. Now, the venue is proper in this court under Code of Civil Procedure, Section 395, because a substantial part of the conduct alleged giving rise to the violation of law alleged herein occurred in Los Angeles County. Parties. Plaintiff is an adult female residing in the state of Texas. Oh! Shouts out, Julia. We need to get you on the show, girl. We need to talk, okay? What part of Texas you in? Don't worry, I'll figure it out. Plaintiff was sexually abused as a minor. Plaintiff brings this complaint pursuant to California Code of Civil Procedure, Section 340.1, as amended by Assembly Bill 218 for the child sexual assault she suffered at the hands of defendant. Thus, plaintiff's claims for damages suffered as a result of childhood sexual assault are timely filed, as they are filed with 3 years of January 1, 2020. Plaintiff is over the age of 40 years old. Therefore, the plaintiff has filed a declaration from a mental health care practitioner and an attorney declaration for each named defendant in this action. Pursuant to the requirements, of the requirements of Code of Civil Procedure 340.1. The child has sexual harassment and or assault of plaintiff occurred in numerous states around the country, including California and Los Angeles County. Defendant Doe 1, but defendant, the alleged perpetrator at all times mentioned herein was and is an adult male individual. By 1973, the defendant was a renowned and well-known musician and leading member of a world-famous rock band. By 1973, the defendant had acquired wealth, stature, and power as a result of his career and status as a rock star. The status afforded the defendant particular power and influence over minors, including the plaintiff. Now, on information and belief, plaintiff alleges that the true names and capacities, whether individual, corporate, associate, or otherwise. Now, of defendants named herein as those 2 through 50 inclusive are unknown to the plaintiff, who therefore sues said defendants by such fictitious names. Plaintiff would amend the complaint to allege their true names and capacities when such have been ascertained. Okay, so that answered a lot. So the reason why they're using the John Doe moniker when it comes to Stephen is, and so until it's solidified, she's just using, or they're just using the Doe until they can actually get it solidified. And once they do that, names are going to be released. Basically, that's what they're basically saying. Upon information and belief, each of the said Doe is responsible in some manner under this particular code, okay? For the occurrences herein alleged and where a legal cause of the childhood sexual act and intentional infliction of emotional distress, which resulted in injury to the plaintiff as alleged herein. Now, at all times mentioned herein, there existed a unity of interest and ownership among defendants and each of them, such that any individually and separateness between defendants and each of them ceased to exist. Defendants and each of them were the successors in interest and or alter egos of other defendants, and each of them in that they purchased, controlled, dominated, and operated each other without any separate entity. Observations of formality, or other manner of division. To continue maintaining the facade of a separate and individual existence between and among defendants and each of them would allow defendants to perpetrate a fraud and an injustice. Now, at all times mentioned here in defendant and each of them were the agents, representatives, and or employees of each and every other defendant. Oh, okay. So it's not just Stephen, it's people around him. Okay. All right. Kudos to you, Julia. All right. In doing the things herein after alleged, defendant and each of them were acting with the course and scope of said alternative personality, capacity, identity, agency, representation, and or employment, and were within the scope of their authority, whether actually or apparent. Plaintiff informed and believes, and on that basis alleges that at all times mentioned herein, defendants and each of them were the managers, trustees, partners, servants, joint ventures, shareholders, contractors, and or employees of each and every other defendant, and the acts and omissions herein alleged were done by them, acting individually through such capacity and within the scope of their authority, and with the permission and consent of each and every other defendant. And that said conduct was thereafter ratified by each and every other defendant, and that each of them is jointly and severely liable to the plaintiff. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. General factual allegations. Okay. All right. So here we go. Okay. Here we go. Minor plaintiff meets and is assaulted by the defendant. Okay. John Doe 1. On information and belief, in 1973, plaintiff came to know an individual who was well known. Hold on, let's do this. Y'all know I like to. Plaintiff came to know an individual who was well known in the music community as associating with girls and young women who will become accessible and susceptible to famous musicians. In 1973, the defendant Doe performed a concert in Portland, Oregon, and plaintiff was invited backstage by agents of the defendant. This was the first time that the plaintiff met the defendant. Upon information and belief, plaintiff had turned 16 1 month earlier. Now, upon information and belief, the defendant, Doe 1, was 25 years old. Now, upon information and belief, the defendant showed unusual interest in the plaintiff immediately. And after speaking with her backstage, the defendant took the plaintiff and another individual to his hotel room. Now, upon information and belief, the defendant then required the other individual to leave so that he was alone with the plaintiff. Now, among other topics, plaintiff and the defendant discussed plaintiff's age, so he was aware. And plaintiff informed him of her age. The defendant inquired where the plaintiff's parents were and why she was out all night by herself. The plaintiff informed the defendant of struggles she was facing at home. Now, the defendant performed various acts of criminal sexual conduct on the plaintiff that night. Defendant John Doe had plaintiff stay with him in his hotel that night and then sent her home the next morning in a taxi cab. Now, before she left, the defendant invited the plaintiff to Seattle for his band's next concert. Now, upon information and belief, he said he would buy the plane ticket, that she could travel separately from him since she was a minor. So this fool was making precautions to get where she needed to be without, I guess, it being seen. All right, Kiva. Hey, Keish. He said he would buy the plane ticket so that she could travel separately from him since she was a minor and could not travel with the defendant across state lines. Now, plaintiff used the plane ticket provided by the defendant to fly to Seattle for his concert. The defendant had plaintiff stay in his hotel room after the show that night. And again, defendant performed various sexual acts upon the plaintiff. Plaintiff flew back to Portland the next day with the ticket provided by the defendant. Now, upon information and belief, after the show in Seattle, the defendant continued to pursue plaintiff by frequently telephoning her at her home, making various statements to induce her to visit him again, including, but not limited to, telling her that he wrote a song for her that he recorded with his band and that he wished she could be in the recording studio with him so he could sing it to her. Now, upon information believed, once plaintiff finished her sophomore year in high school. Let me say that again. Now, upon plaintiff finishing her sophomore school year, the defendant caused her to travel to Boston to stay with him. Upon information and belief within a week or weeks, plaintiff told the defendant that he didn't want her to return to Portland for school, that he wanted her to stay with him, and that he wanted to continue taking her on the road with him and his band, promising to provide for her as she traveled with him. Now, during this time, however, he continued to sexually assault her. Plaintiff, a minor, was powerless to resist the defendant. Power, fame, and substantial financial ability. The defendant coerced and persuaded a, quote, romantic love affair. I love you, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to take care of you. I got you, right? Okay, now we're about to hear how Stephen becomes the guardian over his wife, basically. I mean, not his wife, but baby mama. I love her. Defendant becomes plaintiff's guardian, and the assault continues. Okay, so this ninja becomes his alleged baby mama's guardian. Now, upon information and belief in approximately 1974, defendant and his agents took actions for the defendant to become the guardian for the plaintiff so that he could more easily travel with the plaintiff and avoid criminal prosecution. Now, upon information and belief, the defendant met with plaintiff's mother and convinced her to sign over the guardianship of her daughter to him. Now, upon information and belief, the defendant made various promises and inducements to the plaintiff's mother. So lied to her and coerced her, basically groomed her as well. Assuring her of the well-being of plaintiff, including but not limited to promising he would enroll her in school, that he would support her and provide her with better medical care and support than her mother could at the time. Defendant did not meaningfully follow through on these promises and instead continued to travel with assault and provide alcohol and drugs to the plaintiff. Defendant impregnates the plaintiff and coerces and murders. Upon information and belief in approximately 1975, okay, the plaintiff became pregnant. As a result of the sexual act by the defendant, causing him to be simultaneously both the father of plaintiff's unborn child and a legal guardian. That's what I said. I'm like, it's like, you know, guardian is like a parent. You know what I'm saying? And the granddaddy. You know what I'm saying? Backwoods stuff. Upon information and belief, the defendant was the sole source of income, transportation, and support for the plaintiff. Now, upon information and belief, the defendant, when informed of the pregnancy, instructed the plaintiff that she could not seek prenatal medical care because, quote, he would get in trouble, end quote, for fathering the child when inquiries of paternity arose with the medical providers. Plaintiff continued to follow the instructions and commands of the defendant, who continued to woo and exert undue influence over the plaintiff by, among other actions, informing plaintiff that he wrote and his band recorded another song referring to and inspired by her. Upon information and belief in approximately fall of 1975, when plaintiff was pregnant, the defendant, while touring with his band, left the plaintiff home alone in defendant's Massachusetts apartment with little food, money, and without a car. Now, upon information and belief, a fire occurred in the apartment and plaintiff lost consciousness from smoke inhalation. Okay, plaintiff regained consciousness in a Catholic hospital with the defendant at her bedside. Medical staff informed him that plaintiff, oh no, yeah. Okay, sorry, y'all. So I was speaking to someone earlier about this story and was telling them that I was actually gonna be reading the story, or whatever, right? And so she left out the fact of the matter that he had sent. Let me come on the screen because I'm gonna give y'all a little more tea. And actually, I was gonna play the video, but we kind of got I kind of got started late. Um, so she left out on probably in the court documents, you know, she just wanted to get straight to it, and then and on the trial it'll come out. But she expressed how Stephen, okay, because she told him, like, look, I don't got no food, I'm pregnant, you know, I need to get groceries, I need to eat or whatever. He was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'll send somebody, you know what I'm saying, over to take you. She says she last remembers opening the door, and that was it, her waking up to a fire. You can't be on me and tell me that it's rain. It's okay. Because but hold on. Okay. But she didn't mention it. But when I heard that, I was like, because watch this. Um, okay, so plaintiff regained consciousness in a Catholic hospital with the defendant at her bedside. Medical staff informed them that plaintiff would make a full recovery and the baby was unharmed. Now, upon information and belief thereafter, the defendant pressured and coerced the plaintiff to have an A by threatening that he would send her back to her family and cease to support and love her. Agents of the defendant were present and assisted with arrangements for the A, which needed to be performed at a different facility since the facility treated plaintiffs was Catholic, and an A was not available. Plaintiff relented, and the A was performed. Now, this is the reason why I feel like it was some kind of connection there with the likes of that that fire, allegedly. Okay, this is just my opinion. Because you then in turn say, after the freaking fire happens, I'm gonna need you to get, like, I'm in the bed, I'm trying to make sure my lungs is okay, I'm making sure my brain is okay, making sure my baby is okay, and you trying to tell me to get rid of this child. And then the friend come over, and now all of a sudden I wake up to a fire, and she literally says that. Okay, she literally talked about this. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull that part up. Okay. Okay, let me do this. Let me pull it up. So, because I want y'all to hear this for yourself. Okay. And due to copyright reasons, I'm not going to show it, but I want y'all to hear her talk.
I underwent a late-term abortion.
Hold on.
I had smoke inhalation by the window, just waiting for Ray to come.
Here it go, y'all.
And he arrived. I let him in. And I don't remember what happened after that, but I woke up in a fire. Ray was gone, and the apartment was on fire. There was smoke everywhere. I could not see anything but smoke. I knew that I had to get out of there quickly because I couldn't breathe. I didn't have a driver's license. I couldn't go anywhere. I had no money of my own, and I had no prenatal care. So I was in a difficult position. He would call in the evening to check on me. But after about 2 weeks, the food in the apartment was running low. And I remember telling him, I need to go grocery shopping. And he said, well, I'll send someone over tomorrow. He was going to send Ray over, who was a former band member and had helped with the band when they traveled. He said, I'll send Ray over. He'll take you grocery shopping tomorrow. So I was so excited because I had been cooped up in that apartment for 2 weeks and I was going to get out of the house. I sat there by the window just waiting for Ray to come. And he arrived. I let him in. And I don't remember what happened after that, but I woke up in a fire. Ray was gone.
Where was Ray? Okay. Where was Ray? Where did Ray go? Why? You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So he sent somebody over there to help. Ray comes in and she don't remember what happened after that. But she wakes up to a fire and wakes up to Ray being gone.
Okay.
You I know you lying, but let me let this run. I'm gonna let y'all hear the rest of this little clip.
And the apartment was on fire. There was smoke everywhere. I could not see anything but smoke. I knew that I had to get out of there quickly because I couldn't breathe. I stood up and I tripped on the table. I fell to the floor, and the smoke was less dense on the floor. And I remembered some commercials that I had seen on TV, public service announcements about how to survive a fire. And it said, stay down on the floor because you can breathe better. I made my way to the front door, and it was locked. There were 3 locks on that door. All 3 of them were locked, and the bar lock was jammed. And I just knew I had to immediately find another exit. Fair. I shouldn't be asked to make such a. Stephen came to me, and he said that I needed to have an abortion. That was where I was when he introduced the idea of my abortion. And I was just shocked. I couldn't imagine even thinking about having an abortion. I had thought I was going to get married and have a baby and start a family. And I remember telling him, how could you even ask me to consider this? I'm almost 5 months pregnant and I've just barely survived a fire. This is not fair.
So I wanted you guys to hear that. I wanted y'all to hear that story because, like I said, a lot of stuff she kept from the documents. And of course, only so much you can put in the documents, right? And so I wanted y'all to hear her speak and for you guys to hear there's some shady business that was going on with that fire. Ray comes, okay, and you let him in. That's all you remember. You wake up, Ray's gone, and it's a fire all of a sudden. I would love to get my hands on those documents and see what the officers said, how it was started, because that's interesting. And then to have the inebriated gall while I'm laying in the bed from the fire, you know, and you're going to ask me to get rid of this child. Something just ain't clean in the buttermilk, okay? But let's continue reading. I just wanted to, y'all know I go a little deeper with stuff. So I wanted to just put that out there and y'all tell me what y'all think, okay? All right. Okay. Agents of the defendant were present and assisted with arrangements for the A, which needed to be performed at a different facility since the facility treated the plaintiff was Catholic and an A was not available. Plaintiff relented and the A was performed. And I keep saying A, but you guys can clearly see what I'm talking about right here. It's highlighted now. Okay. I try not to, mess up my algorithm. Okay. Now, the defendant causes additional harm to the plaintiff by his publications for profit. Okay, and I do remember this. I remember he would. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all hear. Let me stop going off the tangent. Plaintiff made a conscious decision to leave and escape the music and drug addled world, seeking to be free from the sexualized culture created by the defendant and the industry. Plaintiff returned to Portland and over the years rebuilt her life, obtained a GED, attended college, and became active in her Christian faith. She met her husband, became married, and started a family, repairing her soul through faith and family. The plaintiff became deeply devoted to the Catholic faith, which celebrated the sanctity of life. As she sought comfort. As she sought comfort, counseling, and solace with her priest. As a result of the abuse, plaintiff kept her private shame in silence and secrecy. Now, that life was shattered, okay, when the defendant made widespread publications and statements for profit. The callous behavior by the defendant included publishing of his memoirs and or books describing his abuse of plaintiff without her knowledge or consent. Those memoirs characterized the child sex aids of plaintiff as a romantic loving relationship without her knowledge or consent. The defendant made these statements with the intent of garnering various benefits, including fame and financial benefit for himself and his managers, agents, publishers, without the consent or permission of the plaintiff, and to her detriment. Now, as a result of the defendant's statements and writings, the defendant imposed involuntarily infamy upon plaintiff. Now she suffered, now she suffered and continues to suffer deep emotional harm as a result. Now the involuntary infamy and public discrimination of plaintiff's assaults has aggravated and exacerbated the harm caused by the assaults and continues to prevent healing of the trauma and creates additional trauma. Now, upon belief, defendant's memoirs and statements confirmed and confessed the crimes he perpetrated upon the plaintiff, including, okay, so this is an insert from his book, I'm a Legend, okay, all right. She was 16. She knew how, okay, hold on, hold on, y'all. It just kind of kicked me somehow. Okay. Says she was 16. She knew how to nasty. Okay, just can't even write. But anyway, with my bad self being 26 and she barely old enough to drive and sexy as hell. I just fell madly in love with her. She was my heart's desire, my partner in crimes of passion. I was so in love, I almost took a teen bride. I went and slept at her parents' house for a couple of nights, and her parents fell in love with me. Signed paper over for me to have custody so I wouldn't get arrested if I took her out of state. I took her on tour with me. By including plaintiff's name in the acknowledgments, he left the readers and the public without any doubt of plaintiff's identity. Soon after, plaintiff was in the line at a grocery store and saw a picture of herself on a tabloid that referred to her as defendant's teen lover. The caption under plaintiff's photo read, quote, "She was 15 when they fell in love. He described her as having more legs than a bucket of chicken. Attempts to contact Julia have been unsuccessful," end quote. The article went on to describe certain details, including the fire that nearly killed her and the coerced A.B. These were now published along with her status as a victim of sexual A, subjecting her to involuntarily infamy. Okay. And we're going to stop right here where it says first cause of action. Okay. We're going to start getting into the crimes. Okay. We're going to continue that possibly on either tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow because it's where we're the parents Wednesday. Probably next week. Excuse me, y'all. The defendant's ongoing pattern of conduct, including but not limited to his allured reference about her, his public statements, publications, the widespread public interest of the defendant's actions, violated plaintiff's privacy, requiring her to make apologies and disclosures to her husband, children, family, and friends that she never would have absent his malicious publication of her details in his books. Plaintiff has suffered specific and additional trauma and damages because of the public statements made by the defendant Doe. Now, the defendant knew or should have known that his publication of plaintiff's private details has subjected plaintiff to public ridicule, harassment, trauma, and aggravation and continuation of the harm caused by the sexual A. Now, as a direct and proximate result of the childhood sexual A, harassment, and abuse committed against the plaintiff by defendant, plaintiff has suffered personal physical injury of sexual A and has and will continue to suffer psychological, mental, and emotional distress, including but not limited to depression, anxiety, anger, agitation, loss of appetite, trouble, concentrating, feeling degraded, loss of enjoyment of life, guilt, shame, humiliation, embarrassment, fear, fatigue, helplessness, loneliness, nightmares, PTSD, impairment of relationships, loss of self-esteem, sleeplessness, stomach problems, stress, difficulty with stress, and all associated economic injury. Lastly, these damages were all suffered as general, special, and consequential damages of plaintiff in an amount to be proven in trial, but in no event less than the minimum judicial amount of the court. Now, we're going to stop there. When we continue, and we will continue off on page 8. However, it will be the first cause of action, which is the sexual B. Okay, we'll get into that information. Okay, so where we leave off at, we're just hearing basically the background, how she got there, how all this happened, and the unfortunate trauma that she went through, the sickening trauma that she went through, how Julia met him, how her mom signed off under the contingents of thinking that he's going to do better by her, that he's going to give her this life of luxury and all this stuff like that, only not to go through with that. How many of us have heard that before? Okay. Then we just hear how, she got sexually, mentally, physically abused by the likes of Steven, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, okay, don't pee on me and tell me it's raining. No pun intended, okay? But it's something very fishy about that fire, okay? How Ray came in and Ray left out. Ray was nowhere to be found, but she was. And why would she be sleepy all of a sudden? You know what I'm saying? Or unconscious all of a sudden when she was expecting for Ray to come. She literally gets up to open the door. So what happened between the time that she opens the door, let Ray in, to her waking up from being unconscious, to Ray not there, the whole fire? Something happened and she doesn't remember. I know you lying. But anyways, you guys, that is the video. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. While you guys are there, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Like I said, we will continue the rest of this read on next Tuesday, okay? But gosh, that's why I said this is, it don't just stop with R. Kelly, and this man is old. So this happened well before R. Kelly. This was happening. Okay, this is Hollywood. If I've not heard anything else, this is Hollywood. Okay. But anyways, you guys, like I said, that is the video. Thank you guys so very much for tuning into another installation of WhitneyDTV. I will see you guys on the next one. Deuces.
Shazazz Creations, your one-stop shop when it comes to customization. Totes, tees, tumblers, hats, and more. Looking for a customized gift idea for a graduation, birthday party, baby shower, or just a unique creation of your own? Check out Shazazz Creations as seen here on WhitneyDTV. Female, Black owned. Use my promo in the description box down below and let her know Whitney D of WhitneyDTV sent you. Thank you. Bye.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Whitney D of WhitneyDTV and the producer of When Time Stopped. And I am here to let you guys know that we are casting for When Time Stopped 2, a docuseries on childhood sexual abuse. Now, myself, along with 3 other individuals, told our stories, but we want to hear from you. Now, are you ready to tell your story? Are you a survivor? Or are you a parent? We would like to hear from you. Here's how you can submit.
When Time Stopped 2, now casting. Seeking female and male adults ready to share their story of sexual abuse, or parents of a child or children that have suffered from sexual abuse, and you are ready to speak about your journey. Email your story and contact information to WhitneyDavisPlanning@gmail.com. Don't you just love trolls? Said no one ever. What if I told you I know how to minimize, virtually erase your channel trolls? Yeah, that's right. Hi, I'm Whitney D of WhitneyDTV, and with my 2-step process, get your trolls under your thumb. What does trolling mean? To antagonize others online by deliberately posting inflammatory, irrelevant, or offensive comments, or other disruptive content. Trolls engage in the most outrageous and offensive behavior possible, all the better to troll you with. As a content creator myself, I dealt with trolling head on into the start of my YouTube career, and it was devastating. As time went on, however, I discovered settings and controls that helped me minimize and virtually erase trolling, and I loved it. Doing these easy steps changed everything. Click the link below to get my ebook on how to stop trolling.